Hey, what's going on, guys? Hex here, and today we're taking a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Cyclops. This is the Jim Lee design, so a lot of you guys that watch the 90s X-Men cartoon, or I believe it was on Fox, this is the design that was in that cartoon, so one of the ones that I absolutely love. So give you guys a little 360 of him. Ever since I first saw this, whenever they kind of teased him, I think it was at San Diego Comic Con, or maybe it was a toy fair or something. But sometime last year, whenever I saw him, I was like, this is one that I'm definitely excited about. And he was the one that I knew I was going to buy out of the wave, and then I started seeing the rest of them. And, I'm pretty fond of just about all the figures in this wave, but this guy was definitely the number one for me to get. He does come with a piece for the Build-A-Figure, no other hands or accessories. What would it, just kind of a cool idea. If there was something, because you can see that there's like a little indentation here where the red for the visor is. If there would have just been like some kind of translucent piece, it doesn't have to go far, maybe, just like this far, to where you could have just plugged that on and it just, kind of stayed on there with friction, and that way it could, actually have a beam, or starting to have the beam. We don't need anything crazy. It doesn't have to get way out here. Just, I think that would have been a cool idea, but unfortunately they didn't do that. But for the rest of the figure, it's really cool. There are a couple of things that are kind of weird here with these boots. These little things, you can see that they just kind of fall down. You can see the kind of little straps here to the side. And so I guess the what you got to do is push this up, and it just kind of stays with friction. The same thing with these over here. They kind of just not so bad, because they just kind of pull down and they'll stay in their place where they need to. But the boot ones, they just kind of fall down sometimes, that I noticed, or at least whenever I first pulled it out of the package. But everything else is really cool. It does have quite a bit of articulation, but I wanted to get a really close look at that face sculpt with the hair, everything about it. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Also with the the hand like this, I think is cool. It would have been nice if they would have gave us like maybe just one additional fist, because it kind of seems like this is the pose that you would always have. So if he was trying to fight someone, he wouldn't have his fingers out like he's gonna poke him in the eye or something like that. So I just would have been nice, maybe a couple accessories like that. But the belt section, it's all this one piece right here. You can see that it can probably disconnect right there, but we're not gonna really bother with that because there's no reason for it to come off. It does have a hole in the back here. You can see that you've got a little bit of paint right here around the X and the X itself. You also have some right here. In the visor, you got some additional paint going on the ear, around here. Can't really talk about his eyes, not lining up because we can't see them. Then over here, the same thing with the the wrist. These little things can rotate, so but you kind of want them to stay right there. So just kind of push them back up against the elbow to keep them in place. But let's go ahead and check out this guy's articulation. As far as the head goes, you have that ball joint up there, so you have a little bit of movement back to side. He has the neck joint where he can go back and forth, rotate obviously. You have the shoulder, which can go in and out, rotate. You have the bicep cut. You have the double jointed elbows. You also have the wrist, which can rotate here, go left to right. This one over here goes left to right and rotates as well. Chest goes back and forth. And then you have the waist articulation. Then you have the legs go forward, then go out, not back because of the butt. And then you have the thigh cut right here. And then you have the double jointed knees. And the reason why they this right here, you can see that it fell down again. Where I think that they didn't maybe mold those or make that part of the boot because of the little boot cut here. So I guess they figured that would hinder it maybe. Not really sure. Go back and forth with the foot, and you can see that it can rotate as well. So it's got, a couple things, not necessarily issues, with the little things falling down here, and I think that he kind of suffers from, lack of having a fist here. If you wanted to have him in some kind of fighting pose and not always like shooting out his little laser, but as far as, posing him on the shelf, I think we can all be honest that, this is probably the signature pose that you're going to be, using. So see him with a couple of his teammates here. Wolverine, that's from the previous wave, and from the same wave here is Colossus. So you can see those in scale and how they kind of measure up. So anyways, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.